Welcome to Flying High with Cam. Today, I'm very excited for you guys to hear this podcast. I have a good buddy who I've been able to network with through the 1% group. That's what the 1% group is all about. Steve reached out. He has the most amazing story of how he went from $1 million in debt to 100 rental properties. And what's cool is he's giving back in a profound way. So stay tuned. You're going to love this episode.
Welcome to Flying High with Cam.
Yayo.
A podcast where I combine two things I love.
This is insane.
Interviewing the most successful people I know
You're the baddest guy in town.
while flying helicopters.
Engine failure.
Fly with me. I want to hear your stories, learn from your experiences, and build a community. This is Flying High with Cam.
You born and raised in Arizona?
Born in Chicago, but I was 2 when we moved.
Okay, I'm
Lived in
the
the same
same.
square 10 miles my whole life.
You lived in the same...
Square 10 miles my whole life.
That's funny.
Where do you live?
Peoria.
Oh, okay.
I don't like, you don't even know where Peoria is. It's like coming out here for me, it's crazy.
It's kitty corner. It's like 60 miles away or something, dude. It's far.
Starting to descend to pattern altitude.
That's cool, man.
Kilo Sierra.
You grew up out in the southeast valley?
Yeah, I mean, so my dad lives, a mile from the airport right here. My mom lived in Val Vista Lakes in Gilbert, and then I live in Queen Creek, so it's like 30 minutes, you know where Queen Creek is, so.
And we'll try to keep speed up. Up to Tier 40, Mike. Thank you.
Yeah, it's crazy, because when we did foreclosures back in 2010, the stuff that we were doing in Queen Creek wasn't existent. It was just
Dang, man, so you've been in the real estate game for a while.
26 years, and I'm third generation. My grandmother was one of the first female real estate brokers in the 60s in Illinois.
Really?
Yep.
That's crazy.
My parents got out of Red Lobster, and they all moved to Arizona.
Like they owned a Red Lobster?
No,
they worked in it?
My dad was a manager. My mom was a bartender.
Okay.
And moved out here 82. And we landed, around 51st Avenue in Cactus.
Blue departure approved.
And then just kind of stayed in and out between Moon Valley and Peoria my whole life.
Yeah.
Blue departure approved.
That's crazy.
So my dad was... My dad did the real estate thing for he was great at it. He was a genius, and he passed away. It'll be a decade this year. In September, he passed away. He was 63 years old, diagnosed with terminal cancer, and
Dang, man.
that changed my life and my perspective on real estate, because he worked for a lot of really big investors during the trustee sale. He bought 1,000 homes for investors during that downturn.
1,000 homes.
1,000 homes.
In Arizona?
In Arizona.
Wow.
The problem was, Cam, he didn't own any of them. He just worked for all these investors, and then when he died broke.
Dang.
And I'm like, that's not happening. So my dad died. I had to take over and clean up some stuff, and worked with my mom so she'd keep the property management company, which we still manage about 550 homes. And then
Your property management company does 550?
Yep.
Wow.
And then what I looked at was just, you know what? My dad would always look for investors, and I turned it around and I said, I want to train people how to invest. So I went back into it with my clients and my older investors and started to work with them to where everybody wins. And so we've built portfolios for hundreds of people, and we've taught them how to invest and move assets and move money and be secure about it and think strategically, not just about now, but in the future.
So what does that look like? Like if you were walking me through it?
So it's all goal-based, right? So it's a lot of questions to see where you're at right now, what you owe on things, what your assets are, and then where the goal is. Also, depending on who you are, what you're doing, it depends on tax benefits, consequences, and there's so many creative ways to do things. Like, yesterday I sat with a 70-year-old couple. They just bought a house out in Lakeside.
Did you say 70?
Yeah, they're 70.
Okay.
They're selling a house, and they need a cash offer right now because they don't want to go through the showing process.
Yeah.
So I gave them the cash offer, which is great, gives them their cash, but then I sat down and I said, if I paid you $787,000 over time rather than $620,000 now, I would pay off your next home.
Yeah.
And so I just walked them through it with seller finance, and I showed them that I'm going to help you pay off this house, but you're going to help me with what I'm doing with this house, giving me creative financing,
Yeah.
Which kind of leads into having that conversation, which I shared with you a little bit, is, in this new journey, is that creative financing I got to share with them that will be one of our first women's sober living houses.
Oh, cool.
So it's got.
Is that the one you posted yesterday?
That was a different one.
Okay.
We've got 3 in process right now.
So you'll take their house and create it into a sober living community, and then it's the benefit for them, because if they got $600,000 cash right now, they're paying taxes on that.
Well, they won't really have any taxes because it's owner-occupant, but it just moves the cash to their next house and then it sits.
Okay.
So they don't have a mortgage payment, but at the end of 10 years, they get the $200,000 that I've been paying interest on as a balloon payment, and we've paid the house off with the interest.
That's cool.
But what it's done is kept my cash flow down and neutral, and it's allowed me to not have to go to a bank, go to private financing, and it allows us to kind of move through things, but it's a benefit for both of us rather than one-sided benefit.
So who taught you this? Like, is this knowledge that your dad passed down to you?
That was the thing. My dad didn't leave me with any money. He left me with a whole lot of knowledge. He just wasn't using it the way it should have been.
Yeah.
So that creative side was just like, I learned by the Braille method. We screwed things up, and we did certain things, but it was all in good faith. But we just learn, you try it, you figure it out. And so, this week we'll buy, 3 or 4 homes on creative financing, showing people how they're winning with us, and they kind of become our partners.
That's cool. But you kind of, you kind of like almost screwed it there for a while, right? Like you went through a rough patch.
Oh, dude. These last 4 years,
I don't know how else to say that.
Oh, dude, it's good. Like, I'll tell you, like, I effed up my life, and I will tell you exactly what it was, is all the things we were doing were super successful. One of the big things I do is coach a lot of real estate agents, and a lot of them lean on me when they get into weird situations they don't know how to figure out.
Yeah.
Like the one yesterday, I just get an in-tears call from an agent. I don't know what to do with my clients. She has a death sentence with cancer. They have this house. They don't know what to do. You're the only person I know that can empathetically look at this with me and figure it out.
Yeah.
So all of that started to make me feel like a hero. And when heroes have hero syndrome, they don't have anywhere to go. I went to the bottle.
Really?
So I would take everyone.
This was 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
I thought it was a lot longer.
4 years ago, man.
Dang, bro.
So 4 years ago, I am literally at night probably working on a bottle of tequila from 5 p.m. to 10.
Every night?
Every night. So I can drown out the noise from the amount of people I can't help. And so I would actually...
Wait, so you thought you like had this syndrome that everyone came to you, I'm the hero, and so that like built you up, but then the people that you couldn't help, like it kind of depressed you?
Not only that, there were people that I helped that...
This is Superstition Mountain, by the way.
Dang, never seen it this close. Right. Good news is we don't have to hike it, it's hot.
Right.
But what ended up happening...
You get sick?
No. That was just a weird...
Sorry.
No, it's good.
Little win, that's it.
Night.
So it was a thing where I was helping people, but when I was helping people, I had access to a lot of money. We were moving things, and I started to realize I wasn't watching things.
Okay.
I wasn't watching my KPIs. I wasn't watching the money, and we were losing money as I was helping people. I'm like, all right, this is not a good plan. So those things just kept adding up, and I think that some arrogance and some ego set in, kind of the invincibility of where we're at, and just because I could didn't mean I should.
Were you married 4 years ago? Like,
dude, I've been married 25 years.
Okay.
I got 2 boys that are 20 and 22, and so...
But still at home, you're going through this bottle, your wife's probably like, what the heck, who's this guy?
Well, and what ended up happening is, my wife and I, because of the alcohol, we had some severe marital problems 4 years ago. And we separated for about 3 months. I moved out. It was freaking painful. All the things with my kids and my business and trying to figure things out and really diving deep. And she went deep into working on herself and getting coached. And we both agreed, like, we're just going to work on ourselves. And then when we figure we've got enough, we'll come back into the middle of the road and work on it together.
Was she struggling with anything?
No alcohol or anything. She had her own challenges with some identity and some different things, but she's overall a rock.
I think that's cool that you guys were like, at least it sounds like she was supportive, like, hey, go work on you, I'm going to go work on me, and let's try and come back together.
But I tried to do it myself, right? So I did 75 hard when we got back together. I got through that. I got through the alcohol, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. And then I opened the bottle again, and it was game over. It was like one beer led to the next bottle real quick.
Dang.
And so in September of 21, my wife came to me and she says, hey, I don't want you to go on this Alaska trip with our family and our staff. She said, you need to stay here and figure out, and you need to make a choice. She says, there's no ultimatum here, it's a choice. You either choose the bottle or your family and your life.
Wow.
And she left me. And I hunkered down in a hotel for a week, and then I got out and started.
Did you drink that weekend? Or
I totally did. Because I didn't know where I was, and I started having conversations with friends, and I remember there's a book by Jenna Kutcher, How Are You Doing Really?
Yeah.
I was driving to Munns Park. God, I'm going to try not to cry through this. I was driving to Munns Park, and a really good friend, a very wealthy friend of mine that owns a big gas company here, he called. He says, how are you doing really? Hour and a half up the hill, I just bawled. I was by myself. We walked through a ton of stuff, and he just started asking me, what's it all for? What's the purpose? I mean, we own 100 pieces of property here in Phoenix as rental properties. We own a pretty big portfolio.
Yeah, it's massive.
And he's just like, when's enough enough?
Yeah.
Because he's wealthy. He owns 10 properties. Like, this is my exit strategy. They're free and clear. I own a motorhome. If the world goes to hell in a handbasket, I'm going to go live by the lake. Live off my rentals.
Yeah.
So that was one conversation that just started challenging me. Best friend of mine since I was 11 had lunch after that conversation, and he tore me apart. He's like, you're not the same guy we grew up as. Dang. He's like, you are. So I just started having real conversations with people for 2 weeks, and then I committed to going to one rehab facility. The day my wife dropped me off, I was 3 hours into it, and I'm like, this is not going to fix me.
Yeah.
So the director wouldn't, I didn't have a phone, laptop, or anything. I'm sitting in a room with 20-year-olds that are court-ordered. And I'm like, you want me to go through my marital problems, my alcohol problems with these people? I'm like, no.
Yeah, they don't get it.
So I walked out of the facility. I'm like, can I use the phone? This isn't going to work. He's like, you can't use the phone until the director comes back at the end of the day. This happens on the first day. I'm like, okay, cool. Hold my beer. And I walked down the street. I bought a phone. I downloaded an Uber app. I knocked back 2 double vodka sodas at the bar that was below the rehab facility.
Oh, my gosh. You're joking.
No, I swear to God.
What?
I swear to God.
They're like, hey, we're going to make sure you're mentally strong. It's literally one floor down.
One floor down. And my wife knew when she left me there that it wasn't going to work. She's like, but it's your choice. It's your story. You have to do this. So I called my good friend Tracy O'Malley that 4 years prior, I had a drinking problem. I just didn't want to admit it. She had recommended this place called Soberman's Estates out in Cave Creek.
Yeah.
So I looked her up because I didn't have my phone online. I got her number and I said, where was the place? She said Soberman's. I got in my Uber. I called Justin. I did my intake in my Uber on the way home.
Dang.
And they picked me up the next morning. I mean, I was committed, but, dude, it was brutal.
I feel like it was like fate that your buddy called you, right? Like, if your buddy wouldn't have called you, do you feel like you would have had that awakening, or that shift with your wife, like, hey, make a decision, you just would have kept, like, going down?
That was the start of the dominoes, right? That conversation led to more questions and more thought, and then it was people like Chris Harder's been a mentor of mine for a really long time. I've been in his masterminds and around a lot of people, a lot of connections there. So I had coffee with Chris. I was in his mastermind for 8 years, and we coffee for 4 hours. We just broke it all down because he saw me struggle with all the different things. And I was supposed to be in California to mastermind. Instead, I was in rehab.
Yeah.
And but it was the best decision I ever made to choose, and it was my choice. And when I got there, you know, you're a busy guy, business owner, so picture this. It was 30 days. I chose to leave my laptop. I chose to leave my phone, and I disconnected from the world for 30 days, and I went deep into myself. And I just said, I've never had 30 days to do this, so I'm just going to do it.
Dang.
And I had the 2 weeks before where I set up everything financially for everybody. I sold some assets, liquidated some stuff, and I'm like, all right, everybody has a financial runway through the end of the year.
Yeah.
If it burns down, it burns down. We'll figure it out.
How many houses did you have at that time?
100.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, we've been building since 2016, and we haven't stopped. And they're chess pieces. We move them in and out. We solve problems for people. Like,
why 100? That's like your number?
It just happens that way. So it sounds crazy and it sounds unrealistic, but this week I have talked to 21 sellers and agents to produce strategies for them.
Yeah.
Some of them include me buying them, some of them putting on the market. So some of these houses come in, and then I go, okay, what are we going to do with it? Who does it go to? You know, so I had a family a couple months ago. I bought a house, and it was as is, just crappy house. Met a family. She's like, hey, we're going to buy this house cash, but we're not investors. Our daughter's been incarcerated for 9 years, and we want to set her up to start doing some work and doing some things. Cool part about that story, they were a sign call. And
They were what?
They were a sign call. And I met their daughter, Brianna. And
what is a sign? Sorry, what is a
just
sign?
A sign when they called off the sign on the property.
Oh, okay.
The information on the property.
Okay.
And that girl, all this stuff leads into the sober community. So, that girl ended up getting a job with a partner that I introduced to in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And she's going back into the things that she specialized in prison as peer support for other addiction.
Wow.
So the properties have just been a means to an end. It's just part of our business, moving things around. So that journey through rehab was life-changing. And I just leaned into my health, and I leaned into all the things that I learned in the mindset space, right? A lot of things you share in the 1% Club and going through the mindset where a lot of us, I don't feel like the general public is as exposed to that stuff as they could be.
Yeah.
So when you start diving deep and you're in a sober treatment facility, you're looking around going, there's so many ways better to do this.
Yeah.
Because they're showing 1982 addiction videos. I'm like, can we put Ed Milet up on the TV and give us some hope?
So at the time, I thought it was, for some reason, I thought it was 10 years ago. Like, we're talking within 4 years. So much can change in 4 years.
I've been sober 20 months, Cam.
Dang, dude.
20 months.
So, 100 properties 4 years ago, you go through this. Like, when did the sober community homes, become a passion project? 20 months ago? Or, when did that play in?
So, when I left, my business brain never turned off at Soberman's, right? I paid $55,000 for 30 days to be
55 grand.
55 grand for 30 days, all cash.
Okay.
Best investment I ever made in myself.
Yeah.
And
I've had a couple different people that run addiction recovery programs, and they say there's a lot of scams out there, but the ones that work, they work.
They work.
And so it's cool that you found one that worked right off the bat, because that's rare, right?
But here's the deal. It's not that the program worked. Where I was at, it was finding your insulin, which is, it's a holistic approach to find the things that work for you. Not one path is right for everybody. It's a mixture of everything. So many people in the sobriety community go down one path, and that's the only thing, and it almost becomes a little cultish. So when I tried to quit drinking before, I did a lot of AA, and the rooms were just, they didn't do anything from my entrepreneur spirit.
Yep.
So it was heavy. And I'm like, these people need more motivation and inspiration, and it just is heavy when you go in there. I'm like, if this is the only way to stop drinking, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
So it's been a journey for the last 20 months of trying to figure out my opinion of it. And what I've kind of come to the conclusion of is that you're in prison when you're an alcoholic or an addict because you're shame, your guilt, you're hiding all the things. When you get sober, you come out, you're embarrassed, you're shamed, and you're in a different prison. Same form.
Yeah.
So you're embarrassed, you don't want to tell anybody about it. And then at some point in time, so around April, a year ago, I spoke at Fate, and that was my 6 months after my rehab treatment. And I decided just to be really vulnerable from stage, and I let all of this out. I'm like, I screwed everything up. I went to rehab. I'm not that great, and you can come back from this.
Yeah.
But what that did is once I released that,
bro, everyone opened up and was like, thank you.
Do you know how many agents are in my network right now because they were struggling with their drinking and they wanted to be around somebody that was going in that direction?
That's so sick.
So because of the vulnerability, it released that shame prison. And I'm like, that is just going to be a chapter and a part of my story, just like when we lost everything in 2008, and now I get to talk about it. But then they tell you to go serve. And I just served in serving in a different capacity.
Yeah.
But it's
500.
I was in Hawaii a couple of weeks ago walking on the beach, realizing that
400.
There's some change coming, some passion changing.
300.
And you know those signs you get where you're like, you just can't ignore what's in front of you? 4 months ago, an agent that I worked with 20 years ago called, said, I need help with something. And she goes, oh, by the way, my ex-husband's back in town. And I'm like, oh my God, I forgot I sold a sober living facility in 2005 for this guy.
Yeah.
I lost track with him. He went on to build one of Kansas City's biggest rehab facilities.
Yeah.
And just exited for a pretty big exit.
Right.
He's retired now. He started partnering with me. We had lunch. He partnered with a flip right off the bat. And then we just started talking about the sober communities and the things and having really good conversations. That happened. Then the biggest thing, which I don't know if you saw on any of my social is, so that happened. Then about 3 weeks later, George Lott, another friend, agent of mine, he said, hey, I need you to introduce this guy, Rob Best. He's looking for sober living houses, and we've run all kinds of crazy algorithms, and we can't make anything work, and you're crazier than I am. So Rob had walked in.
Algorithms to like find the homes, algorithm like
cash flow, like just really tight niche.
Okay.
And nobody's looking at the expansive part of it.
Yeah.
And they were trying to figure out how to make it work for an investor.
Okay.
And I'm like, I just need to be the investor because I know how this works.
Yeah.
And I can get really excited about it. Well, I already had bought that 2-acre property.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And I took Rob over there and I'm like, he's been sober 13 years, but here's the deal. I wanted to have a sober living. Like I wanted to when I left Soberman's. I didn't want to be an operator though.
Yeah.
I want to be a motivator, an inspiration. I want to look at the operations. Rob has the only approval for, it's called IOP, which is outpatient treatment, and sometimes it's court ordered and things like that. And he has built it through his CrossFit gym. So his therapy is not talk therapy. It's an hour of yoga, it's an hour of workout, and it's an hour of mindset training.
Yeah.
And it's paid for by the state for these people.
That's cool.
So they don't put a bunch of guys in a room and talk them to death. He came
to work and do yoga, meditate. Yeah.
He's laid it all out. He needs housing, but he also needs a partner.
Yeah.
And so that's where we sit right now.
Dang.
Like that leads up.
That's exciting, man.
Here's the last crazy part. I'm on the phone with my brother, who, by the way, is serving a 10-year prison sentence in Douglas, Arizona, for his use of meth and identity theft.
Jeez.
He's clean now, but he is running the addiction recovery center in the prison.
Yeah.
When I talked to him, I haven't talked to him in 6 months, and we're talking to him on Mother's Day. He says, hey, we're trying to implement this CrossFit thing and trying to get a hold of this guy, Rob Best. And I'm like, oh my God, like, he's my partner.
Yeah.
And so now they want Rob and I to come up to the prison, and he wants to talk about the CrossFit thing. And so it was it's too many weird connections to ignore. So it's really exciting right now with this stuff.
That's so sick, man. All right, in closing, which tattoo means the most to you? Like, what is it?
This sleeve has been done since Rehab. And what's interesting about it is I've got this 72 Blazer that we did a full frame off on 3 years ago. It got
72
delivered.
what?
72 Blazer.
Oh, Blazer, okay.
Yeah. So we did a full frame off on it. It is, I mean, we bought it next door to a rental property for $15,000, and we put a gazillion dollars in it.
Yeah.
And it's one of my prides and joy. But what I didn't realize is that truck represents everything about me. So that truck went in, it got torn down, it got rebuilt, it came out as something new. Different identity from what it was, right? Before I went to Rehab, I was the piece of shit blue truck, and when I came out in this journey, I've turned into. So here's what it looks like. Pretty patriotic when it comes down to it. The Blazer represents me going into the barn.
Cool.
Right? And being rebuilt. 13 is a number that I always shared with my dad. We had some fun stories with that number when we would gamble when he was sick. Lead with grace.
Lead with grace.
Lead with grace.
Okay.
I wish in my life I would lead with more grace, because you have no idea what people are actually experiencing. Nobody knew what I was actually going through.
Yeah.
But you can judge people and not know, like, their life is falling apart. So now I'm very empathetic and listening to people and trying to feel out where they truly are.
Yeah.
Right? 10/2/23 is just my decision day. It's not a sobriety date. It was the day I decided to change my life.
It's freaking yesterday, man. Like, it's nothing.
The compass rose. We're not broken. We're off course, right?
Oh,
we just
I
need
like
to tweak a little bit. So it's always a reminder where my true north is, to make sure if I get off, I know where it's at. These 3 words are probably the most important thing that I live by. Pause, identify, respond. I learned that in Rehab, which is everything we do, we can identify with this, which is pause with your emotion rather than knee-jerk reactions. Identify, is that feeling because of this current situation, or something else in my life causing me to be this person? And then respond once you've taken the time to think about it. So I can't tell you how many people I hang up on when I'm like, I need a pause. I need to figure out why I'm pissed off, or before I blow this person up. And then I'll just call them back. I'm like, all right, I took a chance, so I'm good now.
Dang.
And then the hands, well, here's what I believe. In life, and this also represents some of my real estate community, is that we all need to be willing to reach down to help somebody else, because somebody has reached down to help us.
Yeah.
So it's connecting those cans,
Dang,
wrist.
Did you come up with all that?
I did. My tattoo artist was pissed because I made him change it like 12 times. And the Punisher
That's
logo
sick.
under my arm is just because I've always liked the Punisher logo.
Yeah.
It's cool.
But this one, Limitless, here's what I believe. My 40th birthday, this was a mindset.
How old are you?
47.
Okay.
When my dad passed, or just before he passed, my wife and I are sitting on a beach house in San Diego, and we both agreed after my dad passed that he had a limited mindset.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're gonna live limitless from here out. So we changed that mindset. We rode our bikes down to a tattoo parlor in San Diego. She got it tattooed in my oldest son's
This
handwriting.
is your mom.
This is my wife.
Okay.
She got it tattooed on her inner forearm, my son's handwriting. I got this one tattooed. Both of my kids have it tattooed on their arms in different
Okay.
forms and fashion.
Yeah.
And it is something that we live by, like up here.
Yeah.
Even the blazer.
Oh.
My son Christian, when Dan was doing it, you know the old school blazers like Chevrolet on the back of it?
Yeah.
It says Limitless in the
Really?
Chevrolet letters.
I want to see some pictures of that
Oh,
when
yeah.
we land.
Yeah. And yeah, man, the tattoo thing is just, this one is the most meaning because it represents me coming out of rehab and it represents where we're going.
So are you done, or you think you're going to keep it going? You got other ideas?
Oh, this one's getting done too.
You get a full
Yep.
sleeve on the other one.
This
You already
one
got
was-
ideas for that one.
This was going to my kid's tattoo artist and going, this guy sucks. Like, it's all bled together. It's unwavering faith, extraordinary effort, no matter what.
Yeah. Dude, I love your story, man. I
Thanks,
appreciate
man.
you taking time out of your day.
Of course.
I know you're extremely busy, but you're changing people's lives, and I hope that, if someone's listening to this podcast, that hopefully they learn something, and most importantly, that they can apply it, right? And what's cool about, what you've done is, like, you've reached out to me. I loved your story, and now here we are, networking, and I hope this is the beginning of a long-term relationship and friendship that we can continue to not only bless each other's lives, but other people's lives, because that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you for having me, and I just love the inspiration of what you're doing.
I
With
appreciate
people,
that, man.
it's really awesome to see.
400.
There's a few people that I used to follow, and like the humbleness and the ego is not there, and I love following like you and Dan Martel and somebody like. There's just you can have cool things, but it doesn't have to be the thing.
Yeah,
Right?
I appreciate
and just
that.
the life with your family and your kids and all the things is really awesome.
I appreciate that, bro. Well, thanks for coming up. You're the man.
Absolutely.